Welcome to CBH. Today we're talking about Jack Kirby as a co-creator of the Marvel Universe, and this episode focuses specifically on the Incredible Hulk as well as the Uncanny X-Men. So we all know who Stan Lee is, but who is Jack Kirby? Jack Kirby is co-creator and a founding father of the Marvel Universe. No one can really say with certainty what was the nature of the creative discussions between him and Stan Lee, but no doubt they, with the help of Steve Ditko, came up with one of the best comic book franchises in history. It is important to see what Jack worked on before his work with Marvel that would strongly suggest his contributions went beyond simply just drawing, and that he brought many important ideas and concepts into his collaborations with Stan Lee, co-creating characters like the Incredible Hulk as well as the Uncanny X-Men. The Incredible Hulk was created in 1962 in Hulk #1 by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. He was more of an extension of the monster comics tradition that Marvel had before its superheroes. However, there were a few precursors that Jack worked on, and it appears he brought with him or inserted them into Hulk #1. One key point from the first Hulk issue is the initial setup in the army base with the impending gamma bomb explosion. As the military men, including Dr. Banner, are huddled up and watching from far away through the bomb shelter window, Bruce notices a young man in the field and runs out to save him. This sets him up to be blown up and irradiated by the gamma bomb, turning him into the Incredible Hulk. Oddly enough, this is the same setup from the February 18 through 22, 1960 daily strips of Jack Kirby's Sky Masters of the Space Force, when Sky Masters is testing a bomb with the same construction as Hulk's gamma bomb and runs out into the field to save a boy who unwittingly walked into the blast radius. Check out these parallels. Of course, the difference between the Sky Masters strip and the Incredible Hulk comic is that there was a different conclusion. Bruce Banner became the Hulk. However, his facial reaction to gamma rays is very similar to a gamma gun that was shooting a gamma ray at a victim in Jack Kirby's Captain 3D issue 1 in 1953. So Jack worked with gamma rays years before he ever worked at Marvel. So seeing a couple of these examples, it makes sense when on every Incredible Hulk comic you read now, on the bottom it'll say, Incredible Hulk created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. As far as the X-Men, there are a great many of Jack Kirby precursors, considering Jack did mutant stories well before Uncanny X-Men 1, 1963. In X-Men #1, Kirby and Lee get it off to a strong start, introducing the concept of being a mutant born with a superpower that sets them apart from other humans. Professor X gets 5 mutants together to form a team. In 1957, Jack Kirby worked on a story in Black Cat Mystic 59, 1957, involving 5 mutants who were born different with powers, abducted and raised by the government for research, in which they get together and escape the government at the end of the story. Going back further to Yellow Claw 2, 1956, we have an even earlier mutant story where the word mutant is clearly stated and a group of 6 gifted mutants are used and abused by the villainous Yellow Claw against the world with a very powerful reality-bending effect. Here are the 6 mutants. Yeah, I know, we're missing some costumes. Even the X-Men artificial intelligence robots, the Sentinels, created in 1965 for issue 14 with the cover design by Jack Kirby, has a precursor in 1957's Showcase #7 in the Challengers of the Unknown's Ultivac story. Ultivac was an artificial intelligence robot that was getting smarter and more aware, similar to Master Mold of the Sentinels. Magnetism is an awesome power for any character to have, and this was the distinct power of the X-Men's first and most famous villain, Magneto, who premiered on their first cover shown on the right below. Magneto in 1963 was a mutant and would have a Jack Kirby Stan Lee precursor in Strange Tales 84, 1961, about a monster with magnetic powers called Magneto, shown here in the middle. Jack's work with magnetic monsters goes even farther back than this, however, to his time at DC Comics in My Greatest Adventure 21, 1958, in We Were Doomed by the Metal-Eating Monster, with its image on the left below. As you can see, Jack was experimenting with magnetic rays in comic book form way before he ever co-created the Marvel Universe in the 1960s with Stan Lee. So now, after seeing this section, it makes sense whenever you open up an X-Men comic now and it'll say the X-Men created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Well, this was a fun Jack Kirby co-creation episode. We're going to go on to the next episodes where we talk about further characters that Jack Kirby co-created with Stan Lee. Stay tuned and cheers.